Okay, I know you guys are really super excited about this topic, so am I. Who has started planning for their retirement? How are you guys started? Savings account? What about you? Savings account? Okay, who thinks that $300,000 will be enough? No one? Good, okay. So let's take a look at a study done about what real workers think will be enough for them to retire. In 2015, 25% thought that under $250,000 would be enough to retire. That is insane. And then you have another 25% that thought $500,000 to $1 million would be enough. And then there was the 8% that didn't know or didn't remember. Let's not be that 8%. So let's take a look. Who wants to make more than $54,000 a year? Okay. Well, that's the average income in the U.S. So we'll use that for this example to see how much we need for retirement. So we'll take the $54,000 and times it by the replacement rate. Experts suggest that we will need 70 to 80% of our annual income in our retirement. So each year, if we make $54,000 in our retirement, we'll need about $43,000. And we'll times that by 25 years, just an estimate on how long we'll be retired, and we'll need a little over $1 million. That's just making $54,000, and most of us want to make more. So let's increase that by a little bit, and we need almost $500,000 more. So how are we preparing? Well, lots of us aren't. About 33% don't have any money for retirement. Well, you'd think this is just millennials, right? Because we're young, we're not really preparing. It's so far away. But if you define a millennial as someone between the ages of 18 and 24, we only constitute about 10% of the population. That means that 23% besides us have no money. They are not prepared at all. But we also decided that $300,000 is not enough. Why then are only 13% have a little over that? That just means that 1 in 4 of our grandparents will not retire with enough money to get them through retirement comfortably. And a little less than that have enough money, maybe. A smaller number, and that means 4 in 5 will not retire with enough money. So do we want this to be our future? Do we want to be those grandparents where the grandkids have to worry? Are my grandparents going to be okay through retirement, or am I going to have to take care of them? Well, there are lots of different retirement plans offered by companies. 401k being the most often, but there are different ones based off of whether you're in the government, and if you're employed by the government or like a nonprofit organization. But with so many people not retiring with enough money, why wait until we're 30 Why wait until we're 30 to have a retirement plan? There's this thing called a Roth IRA, and it is my favorite. They are awesome, and we can start it now. We don't have to wait until we're employed. They're amazing because you aren't taxed when you retire. So you're taxed when the money goes in, and that's why some people don't like it. They like the tax break that comes along with a 401k. But the thing is, that doesn't matter when you retire. You're going to want that money all to be yours. And there aren't any minimum distributions, which means that you don't have to put a certain amount of money in each month, which sometimes you do with 401ks. And then you also don't have to take it out at a certain time period. That means if you're 65, you don't have to take it out. You can leave it in for another 25 years. And here's the great part. You can leave it in there for your heirs. You can leave it in there for your children or your grandchildren. Can you imagine if you started this at 19 and left it in there until you were 90? That would be an incredible gift to your children. An important thing to remember is that you have to go through a company that you trust. You have to understand where your money is going, what you're investing it in, so that when you retire, you know what's going on. So they have to be a teacher. With the company that I go through, they teach me every process, and I know what I'm investing in. It's still a little confusing because I just started, but I'm trying to learn. And there are different things that different companies offer. I can do automatic transactions where they take a certain amount each month. It can be $50, it can be $5, it doesn't matter. Anything will help when I'm 65. So why start now? Compound interest is your best friend along with time. So compound interest is not interest built off the original amount. So if you put $2,000 in, you don't build interest off of the $2,000, you'll build it off of the interest that you're building. So let's take a look at Ben and Arthur. So Ben started saving when he was 19 years old, and Arthur did not. Ben stopped saving when he was 26, and Arthur stopped saving. But the difference is that by the time Arthur started saving, Ben already had almost $30,000 in his fund. So the difference ended up is almost $1 million by the time they retired, just because of this compound interest. Just because Ben started earlier when he was 19 years old. And this is also based off of a 12% return rate, which you'd think is really high. You're not going to walk into a place and you're going to say, we offer 12% return rate. But it is actually the average over a long period of time. That's why you have to leave it in there for a long period. You can't take it out and put it back in and take it out. And also, why you can't you have to invest your money in order to get the best rate is because if Ben started saving $2,000 when he was 19 in just a savings account, he'd only have about $92,000, which is a far difference from over $2 million. And of course, I would not end a presentation without a quote from Dave Ramsey. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Discipline is the key ingredient. So let's not just rest in peace, let's retire in peace.